Hello and welcome back to Cambridge Clinical. Today we're going to be delving into the second type of syllogism question, that is disjunctive syllogisms. If you haven't seen the first part of this series yet, which discusses categorical syllogisms, I recommend you go back and watch that first. So, to recap, a syllogism is essentially a series of statements or premises which allows you to infer a conclusion. Categorical syllogisms, which we met in the previous video, involve two or more related premises. So what is the difference then between categorical and disjunctive syllogisms? Well, whereas categorical syllogisms consist of at least two statements, each of which provides an additional positive piece of information, disjunctive syllogisms work by allowing you to rule out certain options and come to your conclusion this way. Some people call this affirmation by denial. Each of these syllogisms will consist of an either-or statement, which I've labelled A, a negative premise, which I've labelled B, and a conclusion, which I've called C. So what exactly do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. So the philosopher is either from Athens or Ionia. The philosopher is not from Ionia. Therefore, the philosopher is from Athens. Now here, our either-or statement, A, is this first one. The philosopher is either from Athens or Ionia. The negative premise is B, that the philosopher is not from Ionia, and that allows us to draw on the conclusion, which is C. Now obviously this is a simple example just to illustrate what a disjunctive syllogism is. So let's have a look at how such syllogisms are used in UCAT questions. So here is a real question. Feel free to pause the video now and have a go yourself. Whenever you're ready, click play again and we'll go through it together. So the question says, in a mixed gender school, all students must study at least two foreign languages out of French, German or Spanish. No boy studies all three foreign languages. Place yes if the conclusion does follow, place no if the conclusion does not follow. So you can see that this is a disjunctive syllogism, even if it is in slightly greater disguise than the example I read out before. The either-or statement is the fact that students study either French, German or Spanish, and our negative premise is that boys do not study three foreign languages. Your job in these questions is to figure out what the conclusion, C in my previous example, ought to be. So how do we go about this? Well, in my opinion, the best way to answer these questions is to note down explicitly what we know to be true. So first of all, we know from the question that all boys study at least two foreign languages, and we also know that no boy studies three. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that therefore all boys study exactly two foreign languages. If we think about the girls now then, it says that all girls study at least two foreign languages, and we know that there are only three foreign languages available at the school. So we can say that therefore all girls study either two or three foreign languages. It might also help, again, even before we look at our answer options, to consider what we definitely do not know as a result of what we've been told. For example, here we know nothing to do with who studies which languages. We also don't know anything to do with the total number of students of either gender studying any language. So let's return to the question and have a look at the answer options. I'm just going to put in the top right of the screen some information from what we just discussed about how to rule out false conclusions. So we said that conclusions are false if they assert that boys study any number of foreign languages except exactly two. They're false if they assert that girls study any number of foreign languages except two or three. They're also false if they claim to know which foreign languages any group is studying, or if they claim to know anything about the total number of boys and girls studying specific foreign languages. So let's start with conclusion 1. No girl studies only French. Now think about it. Is that a logical conclusion from what we've been told? Now one of the things that we said we knew to be true was that all girls study either two or three foreign languages. For a girl to only study French would imply that she studies only one foreign language, which we know cannot be true. So yes, this conclusion does follow. If we look now at the second conclusion, which says all boys study 2 foreign languages, can you remember the piece of information we came up with earlier that will help us answer this? So we said earlier that all boys must study exactly 2 foreign languages, given that none of them study 3 and all must study at least 2. So yes, this conclusion follows as well. Have a look at this third conclusion then. More girls than boys study foreign languages. Is there anything we've thought about or talked about before that might help us to work out if this follows? So yes, as tempting as it might be to say that this is true because we're told that no boy studies all 3 foreign languages, but we're not told that about girls, the fact is that all conclusions are false if they claim to know about the total number of boys or girls studying foreign languages. We don't know how many boys or girls there are at the school, so there could be a far greater number of boys studying at the school in general than girls. We just don't know. So as a result, that does not follow. Conclusion 4 states more girls than boys study 3 foreign languages. So once again, consider if there's any information that we've written down on the right of the screen that might help us come up with the answer to this. Now this one is a little bit trickier. While the question says that no boy studies all 3 foreign languages, it doesn't say that about girls. What we wrote earlier as one of the things that we definitely know is that all girls study either 2 or 3 foreign languages. So it's tempting to answer yes that this follows. However, that would be a mistake. The fact that all girls study either 2 or 3 foreign languages means that there's a chance that all girls study 2. Admittedly, it's a slim chance, but it's still possible. And the truth remains that on the right-hand side of the page, we've written conclusions are false if they claim to know about the total number of boys or girls studying foreign languages, and that is what this conclusion is doing. So in short, conclusion 4 does not follow. Remember, it could actually be true in real life, but we can't say that it follows directly from the information we've been given, as we're not explicitly told that any girls study 3 foreign languages. Finally, let's have a look at conclusion 5. At least one boy and at least one girl study the same pair of foreign languages. Is there anything we discussed that can help us answer yes or no? So we've said that any conclusion is false if it claims to know which foreign language any group is studying, and that's exactly what this one does. Once again, it could be true in real life, but judging from the information we've been given, we can't possibly say it's definitely true or definitely false. So the short answer is no, this conclusion does not follow. So that's it for syllogisms. Always remember that it's a good idea to note down, either on paper or in your head, what we do and don't explicitly know before you even look at the conclusions. Also, even if something could be true, we must base our answers off whether we can definitely infer it to be true from the information in the question.